In our rush to move faster, do we risk losing what makes us better? I'm Mike.
And I'm Amelia, and this is Human after all.
So Amelia.
Mike.
if your professional day is anything like mine, it's a never-ending refrain of better, faster, cheaper, stronger, go, 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 efficiency, 5 nines.
Yes.
AI all over the place as the super solve for better, faster, cheaper, stronger.
Right, but there's a catch. Like, it can't just be AI that's always making things faster and cheaper and better, because I feel like there's so much of the breakthroughs that we care about come from like that messy part of the process, that part that's really human, that's multitasking, that's smashing two unlikely objects together. And we now know from new research that it's those messy tasks that AI performs less well, that actually does require that human collaboration.
So just to make sure I'm kind of picking up what you're putting down, like accelerating today's work is not necessarily the right move. You don't just slap a jetpack on whatever you're doing and declare victory.
Well, I mean, I think there are certain tasks, right, that we know that AI could fundamentally do better than humans can do. But then there's the question of, well, what are the humans going to be doing, right? How are we going to spend every day if AI is doing our jobs for us?
I guess the story I'm telling myself is that the time saved from automating all the muck,
the widgets and gadgets,
the doodads and
doohickeys,
that time can be repurposed to some sort of higher order pursuits.
Okay, fair. But I mean, I think back to, you talk a lot about history. I think back to the whole origins of the field of human-centered design, and just understanding sort of with empathy for the humans, what are they doing all day? And when the machines got so big, right, that they filled the size of this room, we needed to be trained on like which button and which sequence and which switch to hit. But now there's a point where AI is actually kind of fundamentally learning us. We're not learning the machine.
Okay, so this is interesting to me, because when you talk about these big rooms with people having to be trained on which lever to pull, you needed a PhD to be a lever puller.
Right.
Back in the day. I mean, like literal white lab coat stuff or a jaunty blue coat. I mean,
I brought my blue lab coat.
But if you think about it, the standard of knowledge and training and rigmarole you had to go through to work at computers 75 years ago was astounding.
Right.
And then you just needed to go to night school to learn the accounting software. Mm-hmm. Then, when I showed up in the workforce in the late 90s, you just needed your dummies book. Somebody on my team said a couple of weeks ago, she said, I can't imagine the winning tech today needing so much as a manual.
Right.
Which is all I guess, to reach the point you just blew my mind with a bit, that AI is becoming the new UI.
Okay, that's one of those phrases that you say that sounds super smart, but like, what does that mean? Like, what does it mean for like in normal human language?
Right, it was two acronyms at once. I apologize.
All right. Just smash them together.
So artificial intelligence is the new user interface.
Okay.
And so the idea, I guess, is that we used to have to learn the computer, and now the computers are learning us.
So this is where what I think of my favorite TV streaming service, that it really gets Amelia. Like, it just understands like what show I'm going to like. Like, this is what you're talking about?
100%.
Okay.
100%. And there's a proactive, helpful, not pesky intuitiveness there, wherein AI at its best is showing up as a sort of computerized concierge, saying, have you considered this? Might you enjoy that? As opposed to robbing you of these choices or agency.
Okay. So I like that. Like, I totally get how AI is the new UI, to use your phrase. But then what are you and I going to be doing, right? Other than having these lovely chats, with our, lovely kind of surroundings, like, what are the humans going to be good for?
One of the things that I see when I visit with clients, with colleagues, with, academics, is there are these highfalutin discussions about one day the machines will achieve parity with ... And I'm sitting there.
You do that really well.
I'm a professional. But here's the thing. The machines have achieved parity. to talk about mechanical minds one day doing a better job than person can do at a given task, that's 2023 stuff, right?
Ancient history.
Ancient history, right? The before times.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. Garry Kasparov, the Russian grandmaster who lost to IBM Deep Blue back in 1996, the expertiest expert who ever experted in his field, after that loss, he said, listen, machines will outperform people at everything we can do and know how to do. And you notice he said will, not may, will. And so I think, to me, it's a mindset shift, right? We need to recognize that we can't bring carbon to a silicon fight, right? It's Navy SEALs versus mall cops.
Oh my God, I love that image.
I mean, is
the mall cop still at least on like the Segway?
On a Segway, indeed. Without references to the proper noun, for sure. Yes. But I'll tell you, the sooner I think we as humans can come to terms with the fact that there are certain fights that aren't worth our time, namely anything rote, anything involving deep specialization, memorization, right? Then I think we can get free to our higher order use, which involves things like creativity, ingenuity, all sorts of stuff that makes us us.
Right, so that it's our job to engage with that thing which is messy by definition, and to kind of outsource the sort of rote tasks to our favorite AI. So, I mean, I love having this conversation. I'm always also curious what our viewers think about this whole topic of engaging with productive discomfort. So please share your comments in the chat, and we'd love to hear from you. This has been Human After All.